Hey there, beautiful souls and amazing minds. Are you ready to uncover some of the sneaky traps your mind might be setting for you? Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of unhealthy thinking styles, or what I like to call mind traps. These are the uninvited guests at your mental party. But don't worry, we're going to learn how to show them the door. Understanding these patterns is like having a backstage pass to the workings of your mind. So let's get started with some of the most common culprits. First up, imagine seeing the world only in black and white. That's all or nothing thinking. It's like saying, if I'm not perfect, I've failed. But life is all about the shades of grey and even some vibrant colours. Take Sarah, an aspiring chef who decides that if her dish doesn't win first place, it's worthless. One day, after coming second in a local cooking competition, she was ready to toss her apron for good. But then she took a step back and she realised that finishing second out of dozens was actually a substantial achievement. So she chose to focus on the rave reviews she had received and learned valuable feedback to fine-tune her skills. It's these in-between moments that allow us to find beauty in our efforts, not just in the outcome. Instead of getting caught up in perfect scores, Sarah now appreciates the journey of honouring her craft. Over time, this kind of black and white thinking can push us away from valuable opportunities because we fear imperfection. Remember, the pursuit of perfection often leads to paralysis. Embrace progress instead. Tip: instead of saying I failed, say I learned something valuable. Ever found yourself saying things like always or never? That's overgeneralization at work. Turning repeated experiences into a blinding rule for your life. Consider John, for example, who had a few bad relationships and started believing that he would never find happiness. But John realized that he could learn from these experiences and open himself to healthier relationships. Remember, repeated experiences are opportunities for growth, not predictions of doom. Continuously overgeneralizing past experiences can create self-fulfilling prophecies, where we unknowingly set ourselves up to expect and replicate familiar outcomes, limiting new potential. Tip: instead of locking into this exact same thing always happens to me, think, I've seen this before, and I can choose a different path or response this time. Mental filtering is like looking at a beautiful mosaic and only seeing the broken tiles. It's time to widen the lens and appreciate the whole picture. Consider Lisa, who received feedback at work highlighting both strengths and areas to improve. Initially, Lisa only focused on the negatives, thinking she was an absolute failure. But Lisa recognized her pattern and decided to change her approach. She acknowledged her strengths and resolved to use feedback as a tool for growth, working towards a more balanced perspective. Recognizing the positives not only boosts confidence, but also helps us maintain a balanced view of our achievements. By filtering out positive experiences, we can inadvertently train our minds to overlook our achievements and miss out on elements that inspire personal growth and well-being. Tip: for every negative thought, find 3 positive ones. Don't be a killjoy in your own successes. Discounting the positives means downplaying your wins as luck or flukes. Own your achievement. For example, consider Kevin, who finished a challenging project ahead of schedule, but credited it to good luck. After recognizing his pattern, Kevin learned to acknowledge his skills and preparation, understanding that his hard work made a real impact. Celebrating successes fuels motivation. When you habitually discount the positives, you undermine your self-confidence and motivation, making it harder to persist through challenges since you never credit your capabilities appropriately. Tip: write down one thing you are proud of each and every day. Whether you think you know what someone's thinking or you're predicting the future, stop. Jumping to conclusions is often based more on fear than it is on fact. Take Nicola, who assumed her friend was upset because she hadn't called recently. Instead of jumping to conclusions, Nicola decided to ask directly and discovered that her friend had just been really busy. Asking questions helps clarify misunderstandings and builds stronger relationships. Constantly jumping to conclusions can lead to unnecessary conflicts within your friendships and your career and your relationships, and lead to isolation, as we often are misreading situations and people's intentions based upon our own assumptions rather than the facts. Tip: ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support this thought? Are you turning minor issues into major catastrophes or diminishing your achievements to background noise? That, my friend, is magnification or minimization at play. Imagine Alex preparing for an important presentation. The night before, he realized he misspelled a word on a slide and began worrying it would ruin his entire career. However, by the morning, he put the situation into perspective and realized it was just a minor fix. Following the presentation, the audience focused on his compelling ideas rather than the corrected typo. Keeping a balanced view helps prevent unnecessary stress and allows you to focus on what's truly important. Magnification can lead to chronic stress and anxiety, making small changes appear insurmountable and polluting your overall perspective with undue negativity. Tip: evaluate the true importance of the situation rather than initial emotional reactions. Assuming emotions reflect reality can lead to emotional reasoning. And just because you feel something is true, it doesn't make it true. Imagine Jamie, who felt inadequate at work despite receiving a promotion. Jamie realized that while feeling overwhelmed was natural, it didn't equate to incompetence. Feelings are valid, but they don't define factual circumstances. If left unchecked, emotional reasoning can cause us to navigate life based on fluctuating emotions rather than facts, leading to poor decision-making and reactive behaviors. Tip: compare your feelings with actual facts to see if they align. For example, if you feel inadequate despite positive performance reviews, remind yourself of your achievements and feedback from others to balance those emotions with reality. Shoulds and shouldn'ts can weigh down motivation. These should statements often create unnecessary pressure. Consider Deb, who thought she should have been more advanced in her career. Shoulds and shouldn'ts can weigh down motivation. These should statements often create unnecessary pressure. Consider Deb, for example, who thought she should have been more advanced in her career by now. By focusing on coulds, Deb embraced opportunities instead of dwelling on perceived shortcomings. Switch should to could for a more empowering perspective. Should statements often breed feelings of guilt and shame, which can erode self-esteem and prevent us from seizing opportunities that are right in front of us. Tip: replace should with could to explore possibilities. Assigning labels to yourself or others based on one-off events can promote an unhealthy self-image. This is labeling. For instance, Tom thought he was a failure after a presentation didn't go as planned. By recognizing it as a learning opportunity, Tom moved beyond labels to improve skills. Life is too complex for one size fits all labels. Labels can limit personal growth and foster a fixed mindset as opposed to a growth mindset, trapping people in an identity that doesn't actually reflect their full potential. Tip: focus on actions, not labels. You are more than just one experience. Feeling like the primary cause of negative events when circumstances suggest otherwise is personalization and blame. Emma, who felt responsible for her team's failed project despite many external factors being at play. She learned to take responsible ownership rather than misplaced blame. Clarity comes from seeing the full picture. Personalization can lead to chronic stress and a distorted sense of responsibility, burdening an individual with more blame than necessary, which can impede mental health and block satisfaction. Tip: identify what's within your control and what isn't. All right, folks, I hope this exploration of those sneaky thinking styles has given you some food for thought. Remember, these are just patterns like routines that can be changed. So grab your mindset journal, I have included it for you below, and jot down those mind traps you encounter. Then let's learn from them, let's grow together. And hey, comment below with a mind trap you've recognized in your life. I'd love to hear from you, and together we can cheer each other on. Thanks for tuning in today, and until we meet next time, let's keep nurturing those healthy thoughts and thriving together. Take care.